Okay. Woohoo! Yeah. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys for your patience. Thank you for the tech team that Joey, Jeff, thank you guys for jumping in and getting us some help. So fantastic. Let's jump right in. And thank you guys for providing some comments earlier too. Yeah, I got 14 minutes, so we're gonna get right into it. Normally, I like to get feedback on how you guys are using video, how you might want to get use video, and what you're doing. But we're going to jump right in and talk about some ways that you can use video. The first thing that I like to tell folks is whatever you're doing. So whatever you're doing today, you should be doing via video. And in most cases, you can add video at low to no cost, and it's a much more personal way to engage your clients. It's a way that you can engage your clients without and process without ever actually being there. So anything that you're doing today, just think about how you can do it in video. One of the best ways that we think of, and I'm going to move super fast, so bear with me. Please feel free to add comments. If there's something you want to know more about in the chat, then I would love to dig a little bit deeper if we have the time to do that. But man, we're just gonna jump right in. So one of the ways that I think it is easiest to get started is in text communication, right? So if historically, the way that people reached out, whether it was to prospects, to clients, to really anybody that they wanted to communicate with. Whoop, Jeff, do we lose sound? Every time you type, we lose sound.
Can you hear me, Jeff, on the speaker?
We can hear you. Hey, Jeff,
Caroline, you can hear me, or you can hear Jeff.
Nope, I can hear everybody.
Okay, right on. So assuming you guys can hear me, then I'm just going to keep rolling, and just text me or write in the chat if you're not. So let me put. Okay, there we go. That should take out of the that should take off the echo. So start where you are, and the way I always encourage people to start for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's a way to build your confidence and build your courage, and also it's a quick, easy, and painless way to do this. Start by video texting. Start by video texting. There's a lot of more complicated, more touch-related ways that you can use video, but start with texting. So historically, we all reached out, we dialed people, we made a lot of calls, and maybe some of you still do that. But more and more, and certainly heard in the millennial session that different people communicate in different ways, and text has vastly exceeded phone calls for better response time, etc. What gets even better is sending video texts. Everybody already has a phone in their pocket. The key is to record quickly. You need to record video in under 30 seconds, which again makes it even better. Send a quick comment and say, "Hey Joe, it's been a little while since we talked. I just wanted to reach out. I was thinking about you and your family. Send me a text, let me know what you're up to, and maybe we can grab coffee." It's a super simple way to do that. Barry, I love that. Video is integral to your business. The way to get started though and get over the video reluctance that so many people have. Misty, I appreciate your vulnerability when you're sharing comments ahead of time. So many of us think that, hey, I don't want to do video because I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I dress. I don't like I haven't had my hair done. We're COVID world. We haven't had our hair done. We sound country. We sound too Yankee. We sound too whatever part of the country you're in, insert accent here. So the first thing to think about when talking about video is just getting started. So the question, Caroline, is what app is best to record video to send over text? There's a couple of different ways you can do that. But honestly, whether you're on an Apple or an Android, the best way to do that is just with the text app. You can record a quick 30-second video in your text app and send that over. Don't wait. Don't worry about don't worry too much about what you look like because that's what you look like. That's what you sound like. If it's your accent, if it's the way you look, everybody you come in contact with already sees that. So that's the best way to get started. The second best way to get started is with video email. Many of you know there's an app that's now integrated in KV Core. It is absolutely phenomenal. And that app is called BombBomb. BombBomb is a paid service, but that paid service gives you the ability to send video email. Those can be video emails that you schedule ahead of time. Those can be video emails that you pre-record and use as evergreen emails. You might pre-record an email saying, congratulations on your contract. Here's what, in Texas, it's called an option period. In other areas, it might be called a due diligence period. But you can send an evergreen email each time you get to certain stages of the contract. And you can do that either from the BombBomb app or from KV Core. And then the other thing that you can do with BombBomb is you can actually respond to an email via video. So there's actually great BombBomb training on BombBomb's website. That would be the place that I would start with that. So BombBomb is a fantastic email tool, and it's a relatively small investment to get started. So again, I'm going to go back to the way we opened the session. Any way that you're communicating with people, you can and should transition to be communicating that additionally with video. There's a lot of reasons for that. It does personalize, but it also, people can see your face. They can see your emotions. I talked about the many ways. I'm going to go back over those again. The many ways that you can do video email with a tool like BombBomb, for instance. You can send just an introductory video email. You can actually, through BombBomb, send a drip video campaign. You can create ongoing video campaigns that you can send to people that just kind of nurtures them and helps them get to know you. Those could be leads that you bought via Make It Rain, via just regular Facebook or Google leads, leads that you haven't met before. You can create open house follow-up videos. And I know I'm moving super fast because we've got just a few minutes, but I just want to share a variety of ideas with you because video can be, number one, it can save you a ton of time because you can communicate things once to a variety of people and continue reusing that same content. And it's a way that you can engage people and you can solve a problem. You can thoroughly describe something in exactly the way you want to describe it in 5 minutes instead of having to rehash something over 20, 30, 45 minutes jumping on the phone. No, you may still want to do that. Your client may still have questions, and certainly every kind of communication we have, we do it for the purpose of engaging one-on-one and ultimately building a long-term relationship. But the more that we can do up front, the more that we can do to build a relationship or cement a relationship without actually having to be in front of them on an ongoing basis is absolutely brilliant. So we do that via BombBomb, and we do that via proactive emails that we schedule one time. We do that through bi-weekly video touches that we send our sphere. We send those every other week, and that is a personal message each and every week. We do that via drip campaigns that we've pre-recorded. So our campaigns go out and say, hey, thank you so much for stopping by our open house. It was great to meet you. If you've got additional questions, please reach out. We're going to be sending you some additional information, so on and so forth. We schedule that one time, and that's an automated process that goes out every time going forward. And then the last way that we follow up, just to recap, is we can actually reply from our Gmail inbox. So you can reply via BombBomb, and maybe somebody had a question, and instead of typing out several paragraphs, or maybe in addition to typing out several paragraphs, you can just send them a quick video saying, hey, you know what? I really appreciate you sending that question. It was a great one. I wanted to make sure I got back to you quickly. So blah, blah, blah. Here's the answer. So when you do that, you not only showed them a personal response, but that's also a response that they can play over and over and over again. If they didn't understand it the first time, great. They can go back and rewatch it. They can play that over and over again. Which leads me to, for those of you that are building teams, those of you that have assistants, whether those are virtual assistants that work in the same town with you, or assistants that work across the country, video is an amazing training tool. Really, anything that an assistant or somebody on your team that works for you is ever going to have to do more than once, you should record that in a video. That way you only have to communicate it to them once, and they can watch the steps to do that over and over again. That could be everything from reviewing your buyer's presentation to writing a buyer's contract to how to enter something in KV Core and the way you do that as a team. It can be absolutely anything. We have done videos for our assistant on how to, how to do hashtags, how to enter things in KV Core, how to fill out the address, so that so that our clients get their automated address updates, so they get their ongoing updates. So there's a lot of different things you can do in video to provide training and to communicate things once and save it in a way that allows people to watch it over and over again. That way you can always go back to, if they've got a question, and say, hey, you know what, have you checked our video library, because I answered that question on this page. You can save that in BombBomb, you could save that in Google Drive, or for the really adventurous, you can put that on your YouTube page and list that as unlisted. That's a much longer conversation than what we have a chance to do in the 14 minutes that that we ended up having here today. I do want to touch briefly on, so the things that I've been talking about thus far are mainly one-to-one communication and how you can create one-to-one communication that's reusable over time. The other really great gift that video gives us is the ability to record content and to create content to communicate to a lot of people at once. So, and you can do that by creating pre-recorded content that you put in YouTube. One that I really highly encourage people to do is Facebook Live. And I know from the comments that I got early on in the session, in terms of people being uncomfortable, uncomfortable with their physical presence, uncomfortable with their voice. This is a big hurdle, but you can anytime turn on Facebook Live and just start a conversation. Now there are even Zoom-like kind of meetup rooms that you can create too. But if you can start a Facebook Live, and not just start a Facebook Live one time, but start a Facebook Live series that you do at the same time each and every week, what you'll find is that you'll build an audience of people that are like you, and you'll be able to communicate with them on a regular basis, whether they join you live or they watch it later. So one of the things when people are doing Facebook Lives that they get really frustrated at, particularly when they're getting started, is they say, you know what, there's only 3 people join me live. There's only, I didn't get that many comments on my session. Well, my wife and I do Facebook Live nearly every week. And this last week we were on live for, I think, 20 or 25 minutes. We talked about all sorts of stuff. We talked about a new neighborhood opening up. We talked about what people can expect in the real estate market after the election. We talked a little bit about our family. Spent 25 minutes. There were only 3 or 4 people that joined us live during the session. One of those was our assistant. Over the week since, that video has been viewed more than 250 times. So more than 250 people have seen it. We run into people all over the place. When we're out at restaurants, when we're doing a service project at the school or whatever else, people come up to us and say, hey, I saw your video. Or they'll ask us a question about our kids, or they'll comment on something that we shared in a Facebook Live that we hadn't seen these people in 60 days. We haven't talked to them in quite a while. Well, the only way they got that is by seeing our content, and we didn't even know they saw it. So my encouragement to you is, Barry said it exactly right. If you're struggling with video, then congratulations, because you're doing it. I would encourage you to keep at it, because dozens and hundreds of people, just depending on how many followers and how actively engaged you are in social media, there are so many platforms that I think you can get involved in, whether it's Facebook Live or Insta or Snapchat, or there's just a wide variety of places. I would encourage you to play with it. So, Misty, your question is a great one. Best time of day to do a Facebook Live. So I would encourage you to play with that for your audience. I'm not going to give you one blanket answer, and there's certainly there are different sites out there, whether it's Hootsuite or StreamYard or HubSpot. There are a lot of different social media experts out there that are going to provide information about what they believe is the best time. But I would encourage you to play with that a little bit. And number one, find a time that works for your schedule. Find a time when you can do it consistently, because you're the one that's publishing it. And the most important thing that you can do is publish consistently. The most important thing, whether it's on video or sphere of influence contacts or anything else, the most important thing that you can possibly do is be consistent. So find a time that you can be consistent and that it consistently works in your schedule. So Maria, how often can you do Facebook Lives? So we do them weekly. Really, again, that's going to be determined by your audience, how much engagement you're getting, and by the type of your content. So at various times, right? So one time a week, I'll do just a total business, getting deep into the weeds on the numbers, and we talk. It's our Monday Market Minute. And I'll do a live for 5 to 7 minutes just on the real estate stats. I'll talk about a particular neighborhood each week. I'll talk about a different neighborhood this week, the next week. We'll talk about the overall. I'm in Dallas, Fort Worth. We'll talk about the Dallas market, and we'll do that on Mondays. My wife is much more fun than I am, funnier than I am, and super engaging on video. She's got a great following. So the two of us do a video together, because she makes me personal. She brings the fun, I bring the business, and together we reach a lot more people. So we do different topics at different times. She actually does completely non-real estate related Facebook Lives, where she calls it, her name's Tisha, and she goes into Tisha's tips. And man, she covers like makeup tips. She talks about paint colors. She talks about different decorating ideas. And you know what? People call her to ask her about paint colors. People call her to talk about updating her home. And when they do, they get into real estate related conversations. She's adding value. She's giving, she's sharing, she's engaging an audience, being friends with folks, and they reach out to her. It's one of the great things about video is you can really be personal and create a personal relationship with people when it's not one-on-one, but they feel like they're getting to know you better and engaging. So Tim, great. This is the million-dollar question. Do I find posting on business page or personal gets more interaction and views? So we get we've got more than 1,000 people that have liked our business page. And I've got 2,300 people on my Facebook page. My wife has a similar number. We get dramatically more engagement on our personal page than Facebook Live. We've tried to do it on our business page and share it from the business page, but we just haven't gotten any engagement. So we do that on our business page, we do our Facebook Lives on our personal page, and just watch the engagement. So we just kind of watch where do we get more or less, just depending on how many followers you have. Maybe that's different, how engaged people are on your business page. The reality is, though, Facebook is trying to get more person-to-person engagement rather than business-to-business engagement. I had heard a stat that posts on a business page are seen by fewer than 3% of the people that like your page. So those stats being the case, you're going to get much better engagement on your Facebook page, your personal page, than you are on the business page. I do not share content from my personal page to the business page. I do share content from my business page to the personal page. So that may be something to think about. You could, depending on what tools you're using, you could download the content from your personal page and then repost as fresh content, not live, but just fresh video content that's going to stay evergreen on your business page. If you wanted to do that, you might think about editing that for both for brevity and just so people know what the content is. That's getting into a little bit more advanced topics than we've got time to cover in this session, but something to think about, and a great way to use Facebook Live. Folks, I don't even, maybe you guys can type in the content in the comments. I don't even know how long we're supposed to go in this session. I'll keep going until I get kicked off, and particularly answering questions that come up. for you guys as much as I can. Okay, Jacqueline, that's what I thought. I thought we were wrapping up. Do we have any other questions that anybody wants to hit at before we wrap up? What I'll offer too is, so my name is Brian White. I'm in Dallas. I'd love to answer any other questions. So if somebody wants to hit me up later, then happy to answer those. You certainly can find me at Brian White in the in the directory. Hit me up workplace chat, or I just typed my email address into the chat below. You're welcome to hit me up with that. If you do send me an email, I will send you a video email in response. So that's my primary method of communication. You get a little bit more personal touch, and that's also a way that I can eat my own dog food. If I'm talking about it, then then I want to make sure we're doing it. So, man, I hope this was helpful. I am sorry about the audio issues. If we can help with anything at all, you guys in the future, then we would love to do that. Thank you so much.